Hello, I'm Rick Hurd, Service Manager at Promarks, and today we're going to show you the TM150 continuous vacuum tumbler. First, I'm going to show you all the basic operations of the machine. First, you have the PVO3 digital control board. You have a caution light that is a working light. If this light is flashing, it means the machine is running and is operating. You have a digital vacuum gauge here that controls the amount of vacuum pressure in the chamber, in the drum, so that what it'll do is it'll pull up a vacuum to a certain level that's preset in the controller, and it will shut the pump off. There's no need to continually run the vacuum pump after it's already achieved its max vacuum. If for some reason the vacuum were to bleed off and drop below a certain level, this controller will automatically turn the pump back on and bring it back up to that maximum vacuum setting. So basically it's controlling it within a window of space of vacuum pressure, and that's how it is monitoring all the time what the vacuum pressure is. This is your reset button in case you break a safety, which we have a photo sensor on here so nobody can get too close to the machine. If that beam is broken during the cycle, it'll shut the machine down, and this is the reset to reset that back and start again. This is your barrel speed. This is a potentiometer that controls the RPMs of the drum. So this is basically monitored by a variable frequency drive inside the machine that controls the speed of the motor. This here is a toggle switch for manual movement of the drum, and you can either move it up or down manually. So when you're unloading it, loading it, cleaning it, you can manually run it without running a cycle. You can manually rotate the drum. These are your switches for vacuum pump on or off, and your mixing motor on or off. Okay, so you must have the mixing motor in the off position switch, this switch here, in the off position in order to manually operate the drum here. If it's in the on position, the drum will not rotate because it's ready for running a program. So it needs to be in the off so you can do a manual operation for the drum right here. Okay. This is your e-stop. If for any reason there's a problem or an emergency, you press this, light comes on, the cycle will end, stop immediately, and vent the chamber. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the lid off. We're gonna open this up, bring it down, lift up, take the lid off, and then bring it over here to the lid holder. Set that right there on the holder. That way you don't have to put the lid on the ground or on the table or anything. You've got a holder right for it there. Basically looking inside, you can see from this angle, you look at the snorkel, and that's where the vacuum is pulled in. It's always pulling vacuum whenever required by the vacuum pressure on the gauge, but that's where the vacuum is being pulled. So it's not a pre-charged tank, it's doing it during the cycle. Next, I'm gonna go over just a basic, simple programming of the control board to show a cycle. And it basically begins with your mix time, your rest time, the amount of cycles you want to mix and rest, and then your total time. So a basic cycle is you're vacuuming it. The resting is if you want to vent the chamber, but hold it and then do another vacuum after. So for a basic cycle, you're just gonna do one mix and just in the cycle. So we're gonna show you how the left arrow keys right here, you scroll over, and right now it's got a 5-minute rest, which means after it finishes, it's gonna vent the chamber, hold for 5 minutes, and then it's gonna continue pulling another vacuum and running another cycle in this particular program. Then it's gonna ask you how many times do you wanna do that? How many times do you wanna vacuum and rest? In this case, 5 times. Okay, so then you go over to total time. And then this button right here is very critical, and it's very sometimes not understood, that this is a hours and minutes toggle button that switches the display right here between hours and minutes. So right now it's set for a total time of 12 hours and 55 minutes. And that's because over here on our mix time, we have 1 hour. In order to eliminate that, to only have that time, we're gonna push 0 and 0 out the hours, go over to mix. We show an hour there, so we're going to 0 that out, so it's only minutes, no hours. It's 5 cycles. Okay, so basically we're going to go over here to our mix time right there. We got 30 minutes and no hours. Then we're going to go here to rest, 5 minutes, no hours, 5 cycles. Just make that like 1 cycle, so it's just going to do it 1 time, and we can even 0 that out. on your rest. So we don't need a rest, so we're going to just do one 30-second cycle, or 30-minute cycle, I should say. So there you are, 30 minutes, no hours. That's your total time. That's a basic program. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is load your product inside the drum. Load your brine mix, your marinade mix. Take your lid, bring it over here. Set the lid on top. Lock it into the hinges right here. Bring it up. Lock it into place. Okay, so basically after you put the lid on and you're ready to go, you're going to start your basic program, and you're going to make sure your switches for the mix and the vacuum are in the on position. Then you're going to hit the start button right here. Hit reset if you've broken your beam, which I did, so hit the reset and it'll start up. Close this down. It's going to start pulling a vacuum. You can see on the vacuum gauge right here, when it achieves the set point for the maximum vacuum, it's going to shut the pump off but continue to run. Okay, so basically the cycle is complete. The chamber is venting. You come over here, raise this up, and shut your switches off. You're going to manually rotate your drum around to where the door is going to be in the front right here. Right here, stop in the program. We're going to open up the drum. Put our door back in place. And then basically bring your buggy underneath the tumbler right here, and you're going to manually lower this down and remove the product into the buggy right here. Let it all come out, bring it back up. And start all over again and run another cycle. Okay, so basically here's the inside compartment where everything's located, your vacuum pump right here. And you'll do a fill and drain right here. That's how you change the oil in your vacuum pump. This is your gearbox and motor for the drive on the belt and the chain right there. Here's the electrical box. All your electrical components right here. Your control transformer, your frequency drive. And this is basically, if you ever have a problem with the pump not starting, this is the reset for the vacuum pump right here. It's the contactor reset. Your fuses are located in the transformer in these two locations right here. They're little capsules that are pushed into the transformer like a little clamshell. There's a fuse inside. Just make sure you test those and put them right back in. And that's it for those. Okay, when you're cleaning the machine, make sure always to clean that snorkel out. That's where it's drawing in vacuum and it's coming into the pump. You've got a cleaning bottle right here that collects liquid right here, so make sure that's always cleaned. But to remove the nozzle, you have to pull this pin up. This is a retaining pin right here that holds the nozzle in place. And then you come over here to the inside of the drum, and you can see the snorkel in here. And once you remove that pin, you just pull it straight out and clean it. And that's where that pin was locking it in place so that the snorkel doesn't rotate, it stays in the up position. So that's what you do to make sure the snorkel is clean. So that's our TM150, also available in 300 and 500 liter models. It is also available in our TMC model, which you can look at other videos we have of the TMC model, which is the TMC for Classic, which has a hose that attaches. This is the continuous vacuum version of our tumbler models. Don't forget that this right here is your QR code to get your manual. So scan this in, go to the website, put in the serial number of your machine, and get your manual.